Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to SeoulSweet. Okay, this video I'm gonna be talking about my experience at the StreakyKids Fansign. I have like my thread ready because I tweeted about it. After I talk about like my experience with each member like individually, I'll insert videos I took at the end. We weren't allowed to have like sticky notes with questions because there's a lady that goes through your album to see if it's correct. So I just like ripped it all off, and I had a sticky note on each page for each member, and it had my name written in English and Korean, but for Chan and Felix I only wrote my name in English. And Chan was the very first one because you know that for the first fan sign they were in age order. And I think like he looked at me because like I was this way and then he was right here. He looked at me and then I think he did like a like he wasn't expecting to see a foreigner there, and then he grabs my album and he's like, oh, good day. And I was like, oh my god, he said good day. And I was like freaking out and I was like, oh, hi Chan. And he at this point we're like talking in English. He asked me where I'm from and I'm like, America. And he looks up at me and he's like, America. He like copies me and I was like, oh my god, this boy. And I was like, yeah, I'm from California. And he's like, California? And I was like, I was so taken aback. I was like, hey, your accent's pretty good, because he was like laughing and I was laughing and I was like, oh my god, it feels like you're my homie or whatever. And he was like, oh, California, I heard it's... And then he looks around and he looks at me, he's like, lit. And then I started dying. I was like, dude, how do you know that? And he... oh my god, just talking to him, it was just like mind-blowing. Oh my god. I said, yeah, I live near LA, which like not really, but like it's close enough. I told him like, yeah, you should have a concert in LA soon, whenever you get the chance to go. And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. And then he looks and he's like, I think Felix would be down to go too. And I was like, oh my god, I was like dying. And he said he had a lot of friends there and would totally love to go. He asked me what my favorite song on the album was, and I was like, I love all of them. He gave me that girl just choose one face. I was like freaking out because I was so taken aback by him. Elevator and Young Wings, because I really like those. Like honestly, I love all of them, but like those two I just picked out. And then also I was like, oh yeah, I love Three Racha too. And he's like, oh yeah, thank you. And he asked what songs, and I totally blanked. I was like, Double Knot. And after that, I think I had to go. Like I talked to him for like the longest time because that's when the staff told me to move on to the next member. Okay, next member, Woojin. Oh my god, bless. He is an actual puppy. He was like signing my name. He was like, oh, Sasha. He's like, hi. I'm like, hi. After he signed, he went like this. He like looked up into my eyes and I was gonna die. Oh my god, he is so cute. He asked me where I was from and I was like, oh, I'm from America. And he's like, oh, you came all the way here just to see us? And low-key I wanted to be like, yeah, but I was like, no, I live here, like near here. And he's like, oh, okay. And after that, it was Minho. I gave him my album and like, I don't know why, but like I didn't say anything and he didn't say anything when he was signing, because I think I was like, oh my god, like visuals, man. I don't know if he asked me if I had any questions for him. I asked him what kind of music he likes and he was like, hip hop. He did like some really cute gestures and I was like, oh, cute. Oh, I'm talking to him in Korean and I talked to Woojin in Korean. Don't remember asking him anything else. And then like he reached out and he like grabbed my hands and did this and I was like, ah, you're so precious. And then I moved on to Changbin. Okay, for Changbin, he saw my name and he was like, oh, Sasha. And he was like, sha 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 알아요? And I was like, sha sha sha. Like I did it. Like I should have asked him to do it. And I was like, oh my god. I was so embarrassed. I told him, oh my god, my cousin loves you. You should totally come to LA for a concert. She also wants to know what your ideal type is. And then he was like, eh? So I had to say it like slower in Korean and I was like, you know, older or friends or younger, but in Korean. And like he literally thought about it for a while. Like he looked at the staff and then he was like thinking about it, and then the staff was telling me to move and he was like, in English he said, no comment. Like he was like looking down. Are you serious right now, Changbin? Are you serious? And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But then before I left I was like, oh my god, I love Three Racha. And he was like, he smiled and then he like bowed at me and I was like, oh, I wish I asked him to say like a line from my favorite song, but I didn't have time. Next was Hyunjin. Oh my god, when I was like moving to Hyunjin, his like whole body was just like up and just like he was like out like towards you, and I was just like, oh my god, you're like my son. And he was just so freaking cute and adorable. I think I asked him like, oh, how's school, but in Korean. He's like, I like it. I think he said it in English, and then in English I was like, oh, so you like school? And then he looked at me and he's like, and I was like, okay, bye. Okay, next was Jisung. Oh my god, he's so cute. When I went up to him, he was wearing his glasses. In Korean, I asked him if he studied in Malaysia. He was like, yeah, I studied English in Malaysia, but he said it in Korean. So I was like, oh, so I can speak English to you? And he looks up and he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh. I was so taken aback. So I was like, oh yeah, my cousin really loves you. Shoutouts to Lazel. Also, shoutouts to Cheska for Changbin. But I just need to go to the next Fansign so I can tell Jongin about Linnell. Okay, anyways, I asked him, I was like, oh, she's wondering if you're like into anime and all that stuff. And he looked like confused for a while, so I was like, you know, like Naruto. And he was thinking, and he's like, no, I think he put his hand behind his head and he's like, sorry, I'm not really interested in those things. So I don't know if he was referring to Naruto or anime, so that was that. And I missed my chance to tell him that I love 3RACHA. Okay, next was Felix. I was like, hi Felix, and he looked up and he's like, hi. I swear it looked like he breathed a sign of relief that he could speak in English. I remember asking him like, oh, what are your tips to learn Korean? And he was like, yeah, I just watch dramas, and it's important to like talk out loud to practice. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Oh, what else did I say? Oh, I told him I was from like LA, and he was like, oh yeah, I want to go there. And I was like, yes, come to LA for a concert. I remember just like staring at his like freckles, and it's just like, oh, so cute. And his voice was deep. Okay, next was Sungmin. He is so adorable. I told him I was from California near LA in Korean, and then he's like, still in Korean, he's like, oh really, I was in LA a long time ago. And in English I'm like, oh yeah, when? And then in English, in perfect flawless English that had me shook, he was like, since the 4th grade. And I was like, oh, you're so cute. I don't know if he said since the 4th grade or somewhere in the 4th grade, but like, you know, when he was in the 4th grade, he was in LA. I don't know for how long though. He sounded so fluent, and at that time when he was talking to me, he like kind of ripped my paper of the album, and he looks up and he's like, oh my god, sorry. And I just stare at him, I'm like, it's okay. But I was just like so shook because he speaks like really good English. And I just complimented him on his like Bruno Mars singing. I was like, oh yeah, no wonder, because when you sang the Bruno Mars song, yours like so good, your pronunciation was like great. And he's like, oh thank you. And then he smiled with his eyes, and then I died. He apologized again for ripping the page, and then girlies, I moved to Jongin, and he was just so cute. The moment I handed him my album, he looks up at me and he's like, in Korean, should I write Nuna? And I was like, because I was so shook. He was so cute. I couldn't even talk. The next question he asked me is like, should I draw a heart? And I was like, like, oh my god, he's just so freaking cute. I told him I was an English teacher, and then he smiled, and I don't remember what else I said or if that was the last thing. And then he grabbed my hands and then he shook them, and I was like, oh, you're so cute. And then I died, and then I left to go back to my seat. So yeah, that was my experience with them. And now for the videos.
그러면 자리는 상관, 다리 우리가 앞에 앉고 먼저 받는 것만
다 같이 인사드릴게요. 하나, 둘, 셋. 안녕하세요, 스트레이키즈입니다. 자, 저희 스트레이키즈의 첫 번째 팬사인회 시작하겠습니다.
야, 소영.
민아!
제가 뭐 전달해드려요?
아, 아니에요.
네, 괜찮아요.
이게 맞췄는데 진짜 아무것도 안 했는데 그니까 뭐 있으세요? 이거 다
지성아! 지성아! 지성아!
안 나가 펜. 펜이 여기 없어. 펜도 있어요.
나 받아요.
수빈아 모르는 척하지 말고.
그래, 이거 잘 어울린다.
야야야. 야야야. 아 왜? 내가 추억까지. 어디서 잘 지내?
에이,
멋있는데.
잘해 잘해.
어때요?
좋아요.
감사합니다.
마이크가 다 있구나. 저 어울려요? 진짜요? 귀여워요?
해줘야지.
네. 왕다람쥐. 다들 어땠어 오늘? 너무 좋았어요. 진짜. 괜찮았어요?
감사합니다.
좋아요. 좋아요. 플릭스 어땠어? 좋아요. 저희도 오늘 첫 팬사인 했는데 저희 잘 했어요?
네.
감사합니다. 저희 너무 떨려가지고 누군지 잘 모르겠는데 다들 확실히 이렇게 직접 앞에서 보니까 너무 좋은 것 같아요.
감사합니다.
자, 앞으로도 계속 이렇게 볼 수 있었으면 좋겠네요.
한진아. 성성아.
창빈이가 할 말 있대요.
네, 여기 와주셔서 정말 감사드리고요.
랩으로.
요, 에이. 여기까지 와주셔서 정말 감사드려요. 예.
하나. 예. 야, 지성이도. 비싼 랩으로 가자. 플릭스 비박스.
예. 진짜요?
심플한 비박스 줄게요.
예. 에이. 여기 오신 여러분 사랑합니다. 햇지 닮은 지성이가 랩을 한다. 예.
사랑해요.
죄송합니다. 제가 당황스럽네요. 감사합니다.
해리포터?
해리포터요?
해리포터인데
해리포터. 예.
우진이도.
귀여워. 어울린다. 진짜 잘 어울린다. 현진이 완전 지금 약간 그리스 신인 것 같은데? 근데 진짜 다들 와주셔서 너무 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
뭔가 아까 밖에 좀 추웠는데 엄청 따뜻해졌네요.
한진아. 우진.
우리 이제 마지막 인사 드리고 갈까요? 이제 갈 시간이 된 것 같아요. 마지막. 자, 인사드려야지. 벌써 이렇게 끝났어? 시간이 이렇게 빠질 줄 몰랐어.
아쉽다.
너무 아쉬운 것 같아요. 한번 우리 크게 인사드리고 가자. 형.
진짜.
필릭스 할 말.
네, 저 영어로 한마디.
yes.
다들 오셔서 너무 감사하고.
영어로?
영어로 또 줄게요. Thank you guys for coming and supporting us. And
Yeah.
we really appreciate it. And hope you guys support us in the future. And thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
자, 그럼 우리 정인이도 할 말. 영어로요? 영어로요? 그럼 영어로. My name is 양정인.
My name is 양정인. 귀엽다.
감사합니다 와주셔서.
It's very cute.
민호도 한 말. 한 번씩 다 하자.
네. 와주셔서 정말 감사드리고 다음에 또 뵀으면 좋겠어요.
잠이 약간 했어. 예, 넘어가.
알겠습니다.
한번 해줘.
랩 제대로 딱 하고 네 넘기겠습니다. 오. 팍팍팍팍팍 두둑지는 매력 다다다다 다들 사랑합니다.
오늘 와주셔서 정말 감사드리고요.
Yes.
네, 꼭 다음에 또 뵐 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.
오늘 진짜 추운데 다들 와주셔서 너무나 감사하고 내일 오시는 분들은 내일 꼭 뵈고 안 오신 분들은 다음에 꼭 뵈는 걸로 해요. 진짜 감사합니다. 너무 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
자, 그럼 우리 마티형, 우진이.
네, 저는
고무진.
네 오늘 정말 감사드리고요. 그리고 다음에 꼭 보면 저희가 다 기억하려고 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
자, 우진이 애교 보고 싶다. 손.
저요.
우진아 하면 돼. 우진아.
우진아.
됐습니다. 잠시만요. 저희 되게 3초만 시간을 주세요.
Not bad. Not bad.
감사합니다. 감사합니다.
자, 그러면.
자리요. Yeah. Let's go. Come on, mate. 할 수 있어요.
진짜 애교 잘 못해요. 애교 뭘로 해야 될까요? 영어로? 그러면 영어 Thank you for coming을 애교로 한번 해보겠습니다.
좋아.
I'm excited. Thank you for coming. I'm not gonna leave you alone. 필릭스 가자, 필릭스.
저요? 그래요?
필릭스 사랑해 가자, 사랑해. 영어로? 섞여서.
Love you, darling.
죄송합니다. 현진이 애교. 현진이.
한번 할까?
감사.
잘생겼다. 와. 그러면 우리 하나 둘 셋 해서 다 같이 한 번에 빵 하고 애교요.
애교요? 오케이. 좋은 생각.
한 번 더 해야 돼. 한 번 더 할까? 하나 둘 셋 해서 한 포즈 하나 잡는 걸로.
하자.
포즈요?
하자.
괜찮아?
포즈?
그렇게 할까? 자, 하기 쉽다. 포즈. 3초 동안. 아휴, 준비. 자, 생각 좀 해. 뭐하지? 포즈를 해야지. 안 하게? 새로운 게 어떤 건데? 우리 애교 담당 창빈이. 그쵸? 연습하잖아. 그래, 애교 연습하잖아.
맨날 우리한테 어떤지 물어보잖아.
맞아. 저번에 혼자 연습했던 거 보여줘.
맞아, 맨날 침대 와가지고 맨날 애교
엄청
부리고 하면서.
땀 흘리면서 엄청 잘 연습하잖아. 와, 진짜 피땀 흘리면 애교 부려. 야. 보여줘.
한번 보여줘요.
아. 비니 창빈이 노래를 한다.
안녕히 계세요.
잠시만. I'm not gonna leave you alone.
강민아 잘한다.
아,
정인이가 해야겠다.
오케이. 야, 마지막.
정인이가
진짜
해야지.
마지막이에요. 마지막 애교. 정인이. 그러면 정인이, 승민이 같이. 같이 하자.
좋다 좋다.
Not bad.
싸우지들 말어. 그러지 말어.
뭐야, 한 거야? 그 애교야?
너무해.
아.
귀여운 포즈 한번 해줘.
다 같이.
다 같이.
3초만 하고 끝낼까?
그러면 저희가
5초.
이제 가야 하니까
왼쪽
마지막 인사를 하면서 가겠습니다. 감사합니다를 되게 최대한 귀엽게 그 다음에 뛰어나가는데
바로 가겠다.
바로 가야 되겠다.
마지막.
준비했어?
현진아.
나는 마이크 안 들고 하나 둘 셋 하면은 귀엽게 감사합니다. 오케이. 자, 그러면 아, 그래. 하나 둘 셋 감사합니다. 자, 준비. 자, 하나 둘 셋 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 바이바이. 감사합니다.
수고하셨고요.
건강하세요.
정말 감사합니다. Thank you.